You're just testing my live stream right now. Uh, this is Raj, and I have my YouTube channel, Raj Travels 416. And right now, I am dealing with the dilemma as to for the upcoming election as to who to vote for. We have three main parties. Uh, the liberals, the conservatives, and NDP, who are in three of the main leaders in the current polls. And it seems to me that uh, all of these three parties, the candidates from these parties, I can't I can't decide who to vote for, and what what I have seen in the past 10 years with the liberals in power, that we in Canada, we are suffering in all different ways where there are no jobs. The housing market is really uh, gone down the drain. The rents and have skyrocketed in the last 5 years, specifically since 2020, and uh, the housing prices skyrocketed also. So people can't afford to buy the houses or pay the mortgage, and I'm just totally at the stage where I can't even think of voting for any of these three uh, leading party participants. So I just wanted to put this out there, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one uh, in this situation. Just gonna fix the lighting. So I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one in this situation. And I know this is probably the most important election that of that's going to be of in my lifetime uh, so far, living in Canada for the last 29 years. I'm totally confused, and to the point where I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel, even with the current candidates, uh, Mark Carney, Pierre Poilievre, and Jagmeet Singh, the three top contenders for the elections coming up on April 28th. I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. Any of these candidates that could change and bring Canada back to what it was before the Liberals came into power in 2015. So between 2015 and 2025, I have seen the erosion of Canada and Canadians, and I'm just wondering if anybody else is also feeling the same way. I'm pretty sure they are. There are a lot of people who are dissatisfied right now. 85% of the people in Canada, according to latest poll, they can't even they're living paycheck to paycheck, and they can't even afford to have an extra expenditure of about $200. So they don't even have more than $200 available for them for any unforeseen circumstances. So that is also a very, very uh, bad situation. And I don't think so. We were in this situation 10 years ago. So things have changed drastically. And now, with the tariffs on goods and other things, that may change even more, and we could be in an even much more worse situation. So I I am just flabbergasted, uh, totally disgusted with our situation, and uh, even the motivation to go and vote for me is a challenge right now. Is I'm thinking like I'm just wasting my vote in terms of uh, putting my vote uh, out there for what? Like what will that achieve if we are in such a bad situation to start with? How is the party coming into power going to make any difference, make any changes to the situation that we are in? So students that are coming and studying and graduating from university, they are not getting jobs in their fields. uh, AI may take over a lot of jobs that are there already. Uh, we are losing jobs left and right, and in many industries, that is happening. So what is going to happen with all these students who are graduating from universities with spending 4, 5, 6, 7 years of studies and not having a job after they graduate? I mean, this was not the situation when I was in university between 1986 and 1996. I took a break of 5 years in between, 5, 6 years break in between. So I graduated in 1996 with a accounting and then finance degree, and I was able to secure jobs in my field. But now people are graduating and they are not even getting jobs in their field. They are just uh, getting a gig work, which is getting uh, uh, to the point where you can't even pay your rent. So how does one deal with all this uncertain situation? And never mind a person who is a senior citizen like I am. uh, how are we going to deal with it with the situation that is so bad, with the housing is so bad? If we lose our housing, how we can go and get another place to stay? Are we going to have to share with like 2, 3, 4, 5 people just to live on our limited pension income? Of course, if you have savings, I don't know about other people, but even my savings have dwindled in the last 5 to 7 years. I can say since 2017, my savings have dwindled to almost nothing. So so what am I supposed to do? Gig work is not something that is gonna make me survive through the higher cost of living and stuff like that. So I've not looked at that option, but I know a lot of my friends, they are doing gig work, and they had businesses, and some of them, they had businesses and they lost their business in the last few years due to high rents and low sales, or all losing a lot of their sales of their business. So they are not even able to support themselves. So what is the point on having a business if you cannot support yourself through that business? And even if you have a car and you're doing gig work and you are delivering food or driving an Uber, Lyft, and things like that, even that will only probably make you enough money just to pay your rent and your basic necessities. You can afford to have families. So different contenders in the race, they are promising this and that, and healthcare and whatnot. Housing is the biggest, I would say, the problem right now, and healthcare is right near that. And of course, for all this stuff, how are you going to afford to live your life even after you graduate when you don't have a job? What a person can do, I have no idea what a person can do besides gig work or working menial jobs for the rest of their lives. And not only that, if you're working menial jobs, you are not going to be able to save any money with those jobs. It's just not happening. It's, cost of living is increasing, um, 3%, uh, consumer price index 3% every year. So the gig works, they are making what they were making during the pandemic, and now the workers, they're even making less than that. And I walk around in my neighborhood in downtown Toronto, where this is where I live. I've been living in downtown Toronto for 29 years, so I am quite aware of what is happening in my surrounding areas and stuff like that. Of course, there's you have many high-rise buildings with the rents starting at around $2,000, or maybe you can get cheaper than $2,000, like a shoebox of 200 to 400 square feet, which is only good for one person living, for maybe like $1,800. I saw a YouTube, not YouTube, Instagram ad, of such a thing. But overall, if you're paying 2,000, $2,200 rent, you gotta make at least $3,000 after your cost of, let's say you're driving a Uber, you have to pay for gas or maintenance of the car and insurance, all that to take out before. So you may need even a 500 to $1,000 more than $3,000 to be able to live in Toronto or the surrounding areas. So that is very tough. And I go to the YMCA and I hear that people they're sharing two people in one bedroom. So let's say you have, the rent is $2,000. Maybe they can share it, $1,000 each, or if their rent is $2,200, they can share it $1,100 each. But even still, first of all, just the stress of sharing a place, a small place with somebody else, makes your life, like you have to schedule your life accordingly in terms of using the washrooms and using the kitchen. And I'm not talking about students. I'm talking about people who are working and working full time and try to make a living, and they are not able to do anything with with the money that they get. Uh, Taxes are so high in Canada, and what are we getting for the taxes? Of course, non-stop construction in downtown Toronto, for whatever reason, for World Cup soccer, and buildings coming up. I guess parks, roads being built, the expressway being repaired, and things like that. Ontario Place, those are there. But the thing is, if a person will not have money to spend to let's say go to Ontario Place and enjoy what Ontario Place will bring to the city. So what point is that to have a place, such a nicer place, the harbor front and things like that. So it is, we are in a situation where even after paying so much money, we are in a bind in taxes. We are in a bind where we can hardly do anything. We can't take any vacations outside the country. Staycation is the norm now. I think so. I know for me it is. I only took one vacation in the last 25 years. So you can imagine one vacation in 25 years outside the country. It is tough, and that too was so that I could save some money for a later part of my life, to live uh, uh, as a senior, and not having the job or a steady income. That was the reason. So I I had to forego taking vacation out of the country. Just went to like Niagara Falls, Montreal, and downtown Toronto is excellent. So I just go around downtown Toronto. That is also very nice for me, just to go around and then just come back home and relax, and then do that again some other day. So that is there on a daily basis. My thing is just to walk around in downtown Toronto, help do some grocery shopping, that too in a limited amount. So because everything, if you go to the grocery stores, you can see the groceries are so expensive. So whatever you're buying, if you're spending $100, what you could buy before, I would say you get less than half of what you used to get 10 years ago. So you can imagine, and I'm pretty sure the salaries of people have not doubled. And even if they have, what happens when you lose your job? Uh, there is no safety net to cover you uh, during finding another job and looking for another job. Uh, that time, during that time, you are not able to support yourself. So what do you do? I'm not talking about children and stuff. I'm talking about grown-up adults. What do you do? You know, I know a couple of people that they're living in their parents' basements right now, and they're in their 40s. So imagine like you are living in your parents' basement in your 40s. That is, you wanna have that kind of lifestyle. And the thing is, I just remember very well that this wasn't the case a little over 10 years ago. For me, it wasn't the case until 2017. I was living quite okay in terms of being able to afford. Of course, I was not able to go to foreign countries, take foreign vacations and stuff like that, and go outside of Canada, because I wanted to save the money for later part of my life. But people are not even able to afford their rents. So, what is this election going to do in terms of changing any of these things that we already are facing right now in 2025? So, let me know if anybody is watching and want to join the discussion. You can type in your commentary, and I will try to communicate with you either by typing in or through this live video. But this is the situation that we are in. So what do we do? Has does anybody have any suggestions besides the politicians who are coming out and making all these profound uh, incredible suggestions that they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that with the medical, with healthcare, with a universal medical. You can get your medicine and drugs through universal care, but it hasn't happened. I know dental care has come in on board for certain age groups, not for all age groups, and so that is a good thing right now. But it was long overdue, and now that we got it, but what happens if you're not in that age group? You still are in the category where you still have to pay out of pocket for your dental. So what is everybody thinking? What is everybody doing? It is it is just a very sorry state for Canadians to live like this on a daily basis, and there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Like, what do we do? What is our future? What are the people who are graduating right now at the age of, let's say, 22 or 25 from university, and they have to wait 40 years for the social security, uh, uh, old age pension to kick in at 65? You're talking about 40 years of complete and total uh, uh, uncertainty, that is stressful in itself, I would say. uh, it is so hard. So mentally, you will be stressed out on a daily basis, whether you're working, whether you're not working, whether you're working a job that you like, or whether you're working a job that you don't like. You still have to work because you still have to pay your bills. So what do you think these politicians will do? We got Mark Carney in the lead right now. That is an extension of the Liberal Party that we had for the last 10 years. So I don't see much changes happening, even if the Liberals come into power. And conservatives, it's like a uncharted territory, and we have not seen conservative do much better in the previous elections and coming into power. So in NDP, we have person who is trying, but he is so far behind in terms of the polls, behind the two main contenders, ahead of him, that he may not have much chance in coming ahead in this election. So in the news, I also saw something that he may lose his position as head of NDP if he doesn't win in his riding or something like that. I'm not particularly sure what that meant was, but he has to also win in his own riding. So, but it seems like he is trying to do things, but he's not the main contender, so he may not even get the votes to come into power. So we are back to like the two main parties, liberals and conservatives. And I it's like I don't even want to. I don't even want to vote. That's how bad it is. I'm so dissatisfied and with what has happened in the last 10 years in Canada, that this is not something that I. It's just that it's very, very uncertain. And to top it all, some of the party leaders, they are projecting massive deficits for the next couple of years. So imagine that you have massive deficits for the next couple of years, even after they come into power. So where will the money from those deficits come? M- uh, more taxes, more it has to come from the taxpayers of businesses, or like you cannot keep on having those massive deficits for multiple years even after you get elected. So what does somebody do in those situations? I mean, that is just incredible. It's just like there is no light at the end of the tunnel. And if there is no light at the end of the tunnel, then you don't want to get into that tunnel, knowing that there is no light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm sure there must be more people who are feeling the same, similarly as I am, and who may be struggling to pay their bills uh, and having a problem with maybe their housing. Maybe they can't afford the medications because they are not covered for medication, and things like that. And the worst situation is that you're here in Canada, in Toronto, where I live, and you don't have a job. Then what do you do? It is something uh, that that is like, it's so dreadful that I can't even think of doing that for any number of days, months, or years. It is just a hopeless situation that we are having, and we don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. So anybody, if want to comment and join the live commentary, I would appreciate that. You can subscribe to the channel, and there's a 1 minute delay, and then after that you can comment on the live commentary section. So that is my 2 cents right now. So April 28th is the election day, and there is a election polling booth near my place. It's only about 150 meters away from where I live, between 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. And I do intend to vote, but you got what, like 4 or 5 days between now and the 28th of April. And I am just thinking, like, I'm not even, I can't even make up my mind as to what to do. Like, do I just waste my vote? Do I vote for somebody who's going to end up creating more, going to do more damage to the Canadian economy, like we have seen in the last 10 years? Like, businesses have been decimated. There's so many businesses in my neighborhood, they're closing down. Of course, you got businesses closing down, and you got multi-story buildings coming up. But the thing is, you got so much influx of people coming into Toronto and occupying the same places where the businesses are. The businesses are gone, but there is no business there to maybe uh, support the local people in terms of providing food and services, and restaurants, they are getting decimated. A friend of mine, he opened his restaurant during the pandemic. First he had a restaurant, then he had to close his restaurant, and then he opened his restaurant, a different restaurant, and then it was 12 hours of work, 6 to 7 days a week. I'm talking about 7 days a week. And I was shocked. And even after that, I think about after 2 or 3 years, he had to close that restaurant also. And he started doing gig work. And the thing is, his expenses are to a level where gig work will not support uh, his expenses. As far as I know, I don't personally ask anybody how much your expenses are and stuff. I know my expenses are what they are, and I try to live below the means, or like, I, I just I just pay for my expenses, and I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to owe anybody any money, any credit card company or financial, and charging 10 whatever line of credit is cheaper than your credit card and stuff like that. So, but I try to pay it off every month, whatever I charge on my credit card. So that is there. But the thing is, if I have some unforeseen expense that comes up, then what do I do? That, like, do I start like a gig work job or something, or what do I do? For a senior citizen who is on fixed income, what do I start doing? That is See, everybody who is living right now, they are going to go through their phases. The student phase, of course, you're going to be younger than that also, but I'm starting the phases at the student phase, where you are racking up all the expenditure on, like, your OSAP, or you're borrowing from your parents, or your credit card and stuff like that. But right after you graduate from university, then you're looking for a job, and you're not able to pay those loans, or credit cards back. Those credit cards have racked up 22, 23, 24% interest. Let's say if you started with $5,000, $10,000, 24, 25% is $2,500 on top of $10,000. So by the end of the year, you are not only, and you're talking about compounding interest. So it's not even just the percentage that is added to your credit card interest is compounded. So they are also charging interest on top of your interest. So what do you end up doing? for that. You start a job and you're not going to say, okay, I got my first paycheck and okay, let me pay the credit card off, or you save for the whole year, and then at the end of the year they say, okay, we don't need you anymore because the economy is so bad and we don't have any business generated with your addition, or we don't have enough business generated with you on board as an employee. So they just lay you off, they fire you, they let you go, whatever it is, and then you go on um, uh, uh, employment insurance. That is, if you can get employment insurance, and all of a sudden your salary, what you are getting is half or less than half, because they only pay 55% or 50%, I think, of your salary for. So let's say you are making $3,000. I'm just saying for an example. So you ended up getting $1,500, and on top of that, you're paying taxes, 10-15%, I believe, taxes on those EI checks. So what will that do? That so if your expenses were $3,000 when you were working, and after you lose your job, your expenses are still those expenses. You still have to pay for groceries, you still have to pay for rent, but you have half the EI is paying you less than half of what you are making, or even less than that, because as I said, like it's only to a certain, they only pay you to a certain amount, half of that or 55% of that. So I think that amount is between 50 and $60,000. So let's say you make 70, 80, or $100,000, the EI will not even cover you for that, above that yearly mark that they have for every year. You will end up even less than half of your salary, if that's the case. So you just wanna limit yourself in terms of your expenditure all the time. Is the fear of losing your job, or the fear of you have certain unexpected expenditure that comes up? Let's say you have a car and your car breaks down, or you go to the garage and say, okay, we're going to do a full inspection on your car, and they say, okay, you need new tires, you need this, okay, the tires are $150 each. Installing the tires and stuff like that is $600 for four tires. Okay, where you get that money from? Okay, right now there is one thing that happened is this month is the carbon tax was removed from the gasoline. So of course, so I went, and when I was filling up my car, uh, I see that from, I think it was like 157, came down to 127 per liter for a week or 10 days. And just the last couple of days, I was passing by the gas station, and they are back up to 137 or something. Like, why is there 10 cents fluctuation so quickly? Like, what is happening? Is just we are just getting gouged for the gas prices. And even when people can afford the groceries, why haven't the grocery prices come down? They talk about what rules or regulations for the grocery companies. It was all in the news. We're gonna have some kind of, I forget the exact name for it, but I know people might know what I'm talking about. But you're talking about, like, okay, so you want to control the grocery prices. This has been going on since last year. Do you see any control on the grocery prices? I mean, I particularly go to like places like Farm Boy, Metro, and Loblaws. All three stores are very close by. Loblaws is about 150 meters away from me. Uh, Metro is about 100 meters away from me, and Farm Boy. So I live near College and Young. So for the viewers who are watching right now, and I appreciate your watching it because this is my first YouTube live. So I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just talking, and I've been talking for 35 minutes nonstop. So just imagine, just just you're looking at a screen right now, like I'm looking at my desktop with my webcam, and I'm just talking for the last 35 minutes, and it is not easy. But I know that there are people who are in a similar situation, and if we don't rise together or talk about it together, how is any changes going to happen? I don't see things happening. Even if a new party comes into power, or even the liberals come back into power, but what are they going to? They've already been ruining the Canadian economy for the last 10 years. So what are they going to do new or different that is going to change? The banks are still, you go and get a credit card, you're paying 23% interest, but your money sitting in the bank is collecting 0.05% interest in the like 0.5% interest. I think the biggest I've seen somewhere is like 1% uh, in the savings or some kind of fixed deposit. 1%. So you have my money you're giving out to other people, or I wouldn't say my money. I say in general everybody's money, whoever is banking with that particular bank. So they are giving out the money to people on the credit card. Of course, there is risk involved. So there's a whole lot of things that are involved. But then again, you have the credit card fees, you have the over limit fees, and you have the yearly. Maybe a credit card has a yearly fee and stuff like. So they are making money on that too. It could be even on each and every transaction that they are making money, which is of course that's there. So they are making money, but when we deposit our paycheck or our money in the banks, 1%. Do you see the difference? 24% and 1% is like a huge difference. What can we do? Our money is not making any money, because even if you got 1% interest on your money, and you have 3%, 2.5% inflation, your money is already losing out its value over the time that you have it in the bank. So what? By the way, if I just want to put this out, I do have finance and accounting degree from a New York college in New York. I studied there, so I do have, and I have 20 years of experience in finance. So if I'm talking about finance, I'm not just talking without any knowledge. I do have some knowledge of it, and I may have knowledge of above a lot of people that are consumers of credit and finances and stuff like that. Just because I was studying and working in that field for the last 20 years. So that is there also. So what is happening? Okay, so you are taking taxes out of our paychecks. You're taxing, carbon taxing us on this and stuff like that, and GST tax. Like you buy anything, even if the government was to go out and say, okay, you're buying food at a restaurant, which they did for the, I think they did it for the last 2 months, between December and February 14th. They did, they limited the GST tax, which was wonderful. Especially if you wanted to eat out, go out, eat, treat somebody on a Valentine's Day, okay, and save money at the same time on GST on a $200 bill, you're saving $26. But what? So you save that $26, but your grocery bills are still at the very high level. Your money is not making any money in the banks that you deposit. So what do you do? Okay, and the jobs are not there. people are and not only that. So I came into Canada 29 years ago, in 1996. So I got my citizenship and everything. So I am quite, well, I would say, like, I'm quite used to the Canadian ways. And I studied in New York with my finance degree. So that was something good also, because that helped me get jobs in Canada in my finance field and things like that. So I had I would say, quite an okay life, except for a few instances where I lost my job and I didn't have a job, and I was in between jobs for 6 months or things like that. My finances, my personal savings depleted and stuff like that, and things like that happen. But I think that is the story of most of the people. It's people, they have their lives like going up, like in waves. They're going up and down, up and down, up and down. But it's like a ride that you're taking, and it's not smooth all the time. But the thing is, right now we are at a very big, I would say, I don't know what the word to use, turning point, or a point where what to do, because we don't see anything good happening in the future. So what are we just going to watch the World Cup soccer in Toronto and say, oh, no, no, not even when I say watch, I mean on TV. So an event like World Cup soccer is happening next year in Toronto. Okay, some of the games will be played in Toronto, some are being played in Vancouver, and you got the U.S. and Mexico also hosting some soccer games. But the thing is, will we be able to drive our car and park and pay $30 for parking, and pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for tickets to watch the game? Yes, it's a proud moment for Toronto and Canada, but the solution is not there between now and next year, June, or when the event is going to happen. It's is less than is only like a year and a few months away from what we are facing right now. And I don't see any big changes, any, not even big changes. I don't see any changes that could happen that will solve the problems that we are facing currently. And if not, if whatever we are facing, imagine if there is I have no idea how many people are going to come to cup watch the World Cup soccer, but let's say 1 million people show up for the World Cup soccer, and say, okay, we're going to be living in downtown Toronto. So right there, you're going to have difficulty finding place to live, renting a place, or some people, some places, they're going to jack up their rents. They're going to have it on Airbnb, and charge exorbitant amount of money for that. And yet the people who are living in Toronto, they say, okay, what do I do? Like, I don't have a place to live. Do I go and uh, sleep in the park? Near where I live, there is an Allen Garden, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, there has been like tents in those gardens for. There has been tents up for, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know the exact timeline. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows it. But I know I just passed by like a couple of days ago. Uh, there are tents and people are living in the park, and they've been living for years. Okay, this is. I used to live on Gerard Street, across from the tent, from the Allen Gardens. I used to live across from that. So I used to wake up in the morning and maybe even walk across the street, and then go in the park and catch a bus going to Bay Street, which was going Gerard to Bay. Across from east to west side, going towards Bay. I used to catch a bus over there. It was so beautiful and stuff. Now it's, you have tents all over the place there. I know myself. I saw people just resting in the park, sunbathing in the park. going there just to relax. I don't think so. Anybody, especially the ladies, females, they would not feel safe going to those the park, which is of course, which is public property, but the public cannot use it anymore, and there's who nobody who is saying, okay, I'm going to do something about it, and there's no solution for it. So what is going to happen? uh, are people just for the World Cup soccer? It's like when a person gets homeless, are they just going to move to a park and they say, okay, now this year or this during this World Cup soccer, I got to live in the park? Incredible things are happening. And I know Canada is such a rich country because people are still making so what is it, where average uh, annual income is like 58 $60,000 a year, per capita income or something like that. uh, that is quite high in the sense like you can live a good life in with that money. Most of the countries don't even have anything close to what we have. Okay, and the US has even higher. Theirs is around about 80 85,000. So that's even higher. But what is the solution? What we can just all move to some some other country or place because okay, like we live all our life in Canada now, as seniors or unemployed, or we just gonna live somewhere else. We're not going to live in Canada. Not everybody can do that, or never. Not forget about not everybody can do that. Not everybody wants to do that, but they may be forced to do that because of the situation they are in and what they can do about that situation. It's like, yeah, I'm in a bad situation, but I don't have any solution for it. Besides looking for a job, even if you start a business, okay, your business starts and you see all the expenses that you have to make for the business, and you have not much income coming in. So what are we going to what are we going to do it if we got one first, what do you call it, comment on our average income may be higher, but our buying power is minimal in comparison to the US. Yes, you know, Fish Guy 1998. I totally agree with you. I have uh, my extended family. My brother, he's living in the U.S. He lives in Michigan. My mom, she is in Michigan. She's living over there. They are making above. I'm talking about specifically my brother. They are making above average income for sure. Okay, but what they can afford is mind-boggling. When they go grocery shopping, the insurance, the car insurance, he has car insurance for him and his wife and his two sons. Four people, car insurance is so cheap that we here in Canada, maybe one person is paying the same amount of insurance that four people in US, in Michigan, are paying. And they're working and they're making money, and the food is cheaper, the housing is much cheaper than, especially compared to Toronto. Okay, houses are going like $200,000 300,000 over there as compared to a million plus over here. So you're talking about two 300,000 US. So with the conversion and stuff like that. So I would say less than half of what with a big backyard, like you can have a vegetable garden and things like that. So like a big space. Okay, you have a house and you have a big backyard. So this, I have another comment. I'm just going to quickly look at it. Greg Smith, I'm personally going with the conservative, as I believe they are the best for deregulation and business and have the best housing plan as well as seniors plan. Seniors plan. So, Greg, I So I've tried NDP, I've tried Liberal, not the last time, not in the last 10 years. Okay, before the 10 years, I've tried. I forget which year was that. I got my citizenship in 2000 in Canada. So since then, since 2000, I've been voting. So even before the Liberals, 15 years before that, I was voting. So I agree with you in terms of uh, about deregulation of business. Okay, I've heard of that. Okay, now we have to see that if that's going to happen. Best housing plan is uh, something that I'm thinking that that will be the clincher for any party who is going to come into power and be able to provide better housing than what we have. The situation that we are in will be, I my guess or my prediction is they will be elected again and again. So that's the second part, and the seniors plan. Okay, seniors plan. I do not know. I heard about our what do you call it, social insurance, social security uh, payment getting moved from 65 to 67. I may be correct. I may be incorrect. I'm gonna be 60 this year, 60 this year, uh, in September. So if they move the goalpost 2 more years, any party that comes into power, if they move from 65 to 67, that will be very, very bad for seniors, including me. Okay, because if I put in for the last 29 years and I'm whatever, you know, I'm paying even now in taxes. So if they move the goalpost 2 more years, I think that like that 2 years in itself is mind-boggling for me. I think 65 for me could not come soon enough. And can you imagine if you are a senior and you're thinking, okay, I want to be 65 so that I can collect, Social Security. That is not a good way of thinking. That's what I. So I pretty much agree with everything Greg Smith wrote, except I do not know the conservatives' seniors plan. I'm not familiar. Maybe I have missed that particular talk or information about that. But conservative would be one of the party that I would want to vote for, just to like say for the heck of it. So okay, I'm gonna try this out. So liberals have failed me for the last 10 years, which I, I'm going to be honest, I didn't vote for them. So it wasn't, at least it wasn't my input in that. Okay, so that is there. So I pretty much agree with everything, except I do not know about the seniors plan. So I have DD Amazona. Okay, vote conservative. Their economic platform is running the on principles that have worked since the beginning of the free market. I would agree with that. Uh, I don't. So conservatives is almost like before 10 years. So I do not remember what exactly their economic platform was. But when I see Pierre Polivier talk, I have a more confidence in him than in any other candidates that is running right now. So is the free market going to work now in the situation that other influences like the U.S. Tariffs and and things like that? Is the market really free? So what is the situation about that? Are we really a free market? Because let me just put it this way. I see that a lot of Canadian businesses, they are selling to the U.S. market, and probably we are seeing the news about the automobile industry, where they are trying to move uh, production to to other places. I don't know where. Maybe back to the U.S. Maybe Mexico. Maybe a third country. I do not know what is happening. I'm just getting sorry about that. Uh, so yeah, so free market, yes, but the question is it really going to be a free market? Okay, I got Fish Guy 1998 commenting the only way Canada is going to prosper is with an open market economy. Yes, open market economy. But who are we competing against? That's the problem. Are we competing against cheaper Chinese goods where they can have factory workers working for less than $1 an hour and make? Are we competing against markets like India where the hourly wage or hourly remuneration is much less than Canada? So I think those things will affect us even if we have an open free market. They will affect us because as Canadians, when we have less buying power, can we afford to pay higher price for the goods? Just like I'm thinking when I go to the grocery store, can I afford to pay higher for groceries? So you can apply that principle to many other things. So personally, what I have done is I have limited my purchasing to very few things, and this has happened over the last, I would say, 2 3 years. I used to spend quite freely without much thinking of the cost of what a item that I was buying. Of course, I buy a lot less items now than what I used to. So that in itself is so clothing. I'm wearing a T-shirt, Roots T-shirt, Canadian US company. I do not know, but a Roots T-shirt I'm wearing, and and things that I need only that are groceries, clothing, shoes. Of course, I got Nike shoes. I do not know, maybe they're made in Vietnam or made in China, but I got them on sale when I purchased them. So that was how I ended up buying the Nike shoes. Okay, Greg is commenting again. So yeah, a free market economy or open market economy remains to be seen. What we will see and how things will pan out once again we are open free market or open market economy. So Greg Smith is writing, seniors plan I refer to is the tax break they receive if they decide to work. I believe it is tax free up to 3,000 3,005 no 35,000 dollars. Okay, I have not seen this about the tax break. So I think in our tax breaks, so the first, what I think 14 15 or 16,000 is tax free or is not taxed. So and okay, here I have a question for Greg. When he says that seniors plan I refer to tax break they receive if they decide to work. Okay, I would say, I would beg the question, if Greg would put in my shoes, and I'm going to be turning 60 this year, if Greg would put himself or whatever his situation is, because I, of course, definitely I do not know what his situation is. He's just making a comment on this live broadcast. So what is the situation? But if you're 60, what kind of work in Canada, in specifically, I live in downtown Toronto. What do you think I could do? Maybe I could work on the weekends for a some auditing department or finance department, something like that. I don't think so. I would be offered a full-time job, or maybe I might be. I'm not looking for a job, so I don't. But but I would say, if this is true, 3,500, that would be something good for the seniors. But the question is, will the senior some the seniors in those situations, will they get a job? Will they be able to earn $35,000? And let's say if you're only earning $15,000, $18,000 less, the $1,500 a month or $50 a day averaging. So that should not be taxed in the first place. So that is not much of a difference. But let's say you earn 20,000 more on that. So from 15,000 to earn 20,000. So basically you're getting a tax break on the extra 20,000. That I would say, if I'm not mistaken, and like how it's happening. So in US, if you're earning up to $50,000, you hardly pay any taxes, or you pay like 10% of in taxes. That's my thinking. I was living in the US between 1986 and 1996 when I was going through my university degree in New York in Queens College. So there was not I did not pay that much in taxes during that time, because my income was never over $50,000. So if that continues on even now, so the senior plan should be where you are getting more for what you have already put in, not that you are contribute at, let's say at my age at 60, and I say, okay, I'm going to start working and I'm going to pay some taxes, but I will get a break for the first $35,000. So it's it's really something that, okay, I would say it remains to be seen. I do not know about this thing. I don't want to comment about something that I do not know about it. But if it's true, at least it's good. So that is good to know. Okay, we got Chris Bay says Greg is right. Okay, as he said, I do not know, so I do not know which comment it pertains to. But if it's for the $35,000, if that is right, then that is good. Okay, he just announced it is now raised to 35K. Okay, he has announced it, and it is now raised to. I think that is also there is also something that I've seen in the past, where people who are running for the leadership of the country and this type of races, elections, they are making announcements which may or may not come to fruition. So, what will happen if we elect somebody and they say, okay, forget about the 35,000 income tax break that I was like not even mentioned. Like I say, okay, not just forget about it. It's not doable because we are running a deficit every year, so we can't do that. Okay, and what can seniors will not be able to do much anyway, because they don't have that their power, since they are not working, or they are working and trying to get this tax break, and then they get to find out that they are not getting the tax break. What are they going to do? Are they going to take the politicians to court for it? Something. So it remains to be seen. If it's announced, I'm gonna after this live YouTube live, I'm going to check on this myself, because this is very interesting, and I will check on it, and maybe I will put it in the comment section for people to see if I found out, and if it is, it's good to know. But the thing is, what I would like to say is, if you're earning $35,000, okay, and you are living in downtown Toronto, okay, so what your $35,000 is going to your basic, you're just basically surviving. You cannot do anything else but to pay rent, or whatever your housing cost is, and buy the groceries. So mine is like, let's say $3,000. I would say, approximately for the month. Okay, so if I was to make $35,000, so basically everything is gone anyways. So I'm not. Uh, I may even be in the negative uh, a few years down the road, because we don't know what the expenses is going to be, and they're most likely going to go up. So what do we do? It is good, and yet it is something that uh, I have uh, I would not know about it until it happens. Because are we celebrating, or are we happy about this thing uh, even even before it has happened? So is the are the conservatives going to do that? In fact, they're going to change the tax rules to for the seniors. They're going to say, okay, seniors above 60 or seniors above 65 will have this tax break. Are they going to make specifically this extra line, extra column for seniors? In the last few years, and I have only seen 300, $600 maybe maximum paid to seniors for the whole year. If you take that uh, like a rebate or a subsidy or whatever, a tax break, if you take that, so that comes out to $25 a month. $25 is like buying a pizza, a pizza pie, and that's it. You're done. So it is not. It's not something that's going to make any major changes in your life. I'm talking about, we need major changes in our lives, our living lifestyle, so that we can live with enough dignity. In my building complexes, there are people living on 100, between 100 to $200 a month just for their groceries to survive. Okay, and there are people who are not able to go and work in their senior years. So I can't even think of, like, okay, the tax break is there, but they are not able to go out and work. And $100, that's three do- $3 and change that they have for the whole day. To what, you're gonna buy some can, you're gonna make some soup for dinner and lunch. You're gonna have an egg for breakfast. So what are we talking about? This is right now the current situation of some of the seniors in our building complex. I know we have 770 apartments in this building complex. Is the largest building complex, uh, uh, a non-profit building complex in Canada, and there are seniors living. I was talking to a lady yesterday, and she said to me, Raj, I want to watch TV in my bedroom. I have a TV in my living room, and I want to watch it in my bedroom. And I said to her, the cable provider, the service provider, we have the the TV service provider. You can ask them for an extra box so that you can put it in the bedroom. Okay, so they give you one box for free with your subscription. But if you want a second box, you can ask them, and they will provide you for the second box. So you can. It's a Rally TV, by the way. I was forgetting the name, but it's a Rally TV. So if you would know if somebody wants to look it up. So you can get a second box. But she said, "Do I have to pay for it?" So you are talking about a senior. I do not know how much the second box cost. Maybe $100, maybe $150. It's a small rectangular, a square box, size of a little bit bigger than the cell phone. Okay, so it can be costing that much more money, especially if you are already a subscriber to their channels. So so she is talking to me that she is worried that she has to pay for the second box, which, I do not know if you have to pay for the second box or not. But if you had to pay, let's say if you are paying $150, and you're not using that box for one day, you're going to be using it for years, many years and stuff like that. So if even if you divide the cost over a year time, so you're paying less than $10 for the box or $12 for the box. But she is worried about getting. I felt like I said, okay, if I had more money, I would say to her, I will buy the box for you and I'll give it to you out of my own pocket. But being a senior myself, I know my own limitations, and I'm saying, maybe that's not what I can do right now. But this is her direct question was, do I have to pay for the box? So imagine that you are a senior and you're lived in all your life in Canada, and you are worried that a second box, second satellite, or not satellite, a cable box is going to cost you extra money. Okay, I got Fish Guy 1998. By the way, thank you for participating. This is my first live, uh, a YouTube live, and I'm not conversant of what the etiquettes are and what to talk about and stuff like that. So just bear with me. I'm doing this thing so that I can learn something new. And if you are a senior like me, turning 60 the year, you know that the technology is not your forte, as it is. Okay, so I'm still learning, and I'm looking at the chat, the chat, going through, and I'm also trying to come up with answers, and also know that I'm live. So what I have to say, it make because there may be some, some things that are not appropriate for the YouTube channel and stuff like that. So everything is happening at the same time, and this is my first live, and I appreciate anybody who is participating in it. Please, do like or subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate that. What my intent is, and this is what I'm honestly putting out. If I can get 1,000 subscribers during the whatever the time frame that is, I will be doing a YouTube live every week. Okay, for sure I would be. I mean, if there is a medical condition or something, or there is there's snowstorm outside and I can't do it outside or something, that's a different story. But I have put in, I will put my own effort to make sure that I would put a YouTube live every week, and I will try to do a YouTube live until the election day, if I'm able to, based on the experience that I'm getting on this first YouTube live, that I will, until April 28th, I will do a live every day, between 12 and 2 and things like that. So when you can tune it between 12 and 2, I just had my like a little bit of food, and then I'm sitting down in front of the computer and just trying to communicate with you guys, whoever is watching. I really appreciate, out of the bottom of my heart, whoever is, please like, share. And I do need 1,000 subscribers to be able to get it to so what they do is YouTube restricts you in many ways until you get 1,000 subscribers. You can do, basically you can do YouTube live and post some videos. I have 100 videos posted right now. I went to so last year, that was the first, what do you call it, the trip to Europe that I went to. I went to 7 countries. So please check out. These are live. These are videos that I took by myself, going to all these foreign countries, from Toronto to Rome, then going to Munich, Germany, then going to Stuttgart, then taking. I bought a first class train pass. I traveled from Stuttgart. I went to Amsterdam. From Amsterdam, I went to Paris, France. I have a video of the right in front of the Eiffel Tower. I was there personally. You can see pictures. You can see videos of mine over there. These are real pictures, and they were taken right after the real videos that were taken right after the Olympics. So you can even see the sign, Olympic sign, on the Eiffel Tower, the rings on the Eiffel Tower. So I went there and I passed through Belgium. I did not. I just came out on, like, on Belgium land, but I did not go anywhere. I was more of trying to go to Monaco. So I went from Paris to Monaco, and then passing through Belgium. Then I went from Monaco, I went to Barcelona. And from Barcelona, I was planning to go to Copenhagen. But the way things are, I ran out of money. So I said, okay, I'm going to end my trip. So this was between the 13th of August of last year, 2024, to I think the 23rd or 24th of August. 10, 11 days I was there. So I traveled, what was it, 20,000 kilometers, something like that, between flights and train travel. I treated myself to a first class Eurail pass, and I traveled through, whatever the journey is when going from. So I flew from Toronto to direct to Rome. And by the way, I was living in Rome when I was a child. So I was in 1974. I was there to Rome at the at the Fontana di Trevi. 1974-75 I was there. And 2024 I went to the same spot. So 50 years later, I went to the same spot where me and my brother, we used to play in that area, the Fontana di Trevi. And the place that we lived, I went there, a Ruggiero for Faro 94 in Rome, Italy. I went to the apartment building that I used to live over there, and I took some videos over there. Then I went further down, and I went to places where we used to, as children, we used to play over there. So I went to that place, and then I took a flight from Rome to to Munich, and then from Munich I went to Stuttgart to visit a friend of mine who lives in Stuttgart. He is married to a German, a woman, and he has, I think, three, four children, 3 or 4 children. Uh, I went to visit. I stayed overnight over there in Stuttgart, and then with a friend, I traveled to Amsterdam. So all these things, I have made these videos myself without knowing much about editing. So I did not know, like, I was not trying to get the perfect spot or the perfect angle and stuff like that. I was just doing freestyle, just narrating what my experience is, what I'm looking at, so that people can view it. I would appreciate anybody who would. So these 5 videos I put out from for Rome, for Germany, for Amsterdam, for Paris, France, Paris, for Monaco, and for Barcelona. I have put out, and there may be some more videos coming, and of course, ton of videos, some videos in downtown Toronto, Sugar Beach, the lake area and stuff like that. So anybody who wants to watch that, and if I get once I get 1,000 subscribers, I will personally do a live every day. Make sure that I can do one live every day, so that will motivate me to do that. So I would appreciate that if somebody can share my channel with their friends, relatives, or other people that they know. So I would appreciate. This is my first live. I appreciate everybody who's on it. I know there's about 40 minutes more that I'm going to be on this live. So I plan to do it for 2 hours, this live from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Imagine you are talking to a screen and doing this thing, and you're doing it for the first time. There's no practices, there's no gimmick. I'm here, I'm in my apartment. My bed is right behind the sofa, and that opening that you see on the left or right side is my kitchen, and some I have some video equipment in the back. Some on some lighting over here, spotlighting, and I got a spotlight right in front of me that is shining on my face right now, and I got a webcam. And yet last night I was trying to set up live for my phone. Okay, so I have, I think, around about 50 subscribers, and it says, okay, once you have 50 subscribers, you can do a YouTube live from your phone, which will be easier because I want to do a live from outside. I want to walk around in downtown Toronto and show the beautiful city that we live in and what is happening on a daily basis. So I wanted to do that, and guess YouTube puts it like, okay, you need 50 subscribers to do, but hey, I'm already at 52 subscribers, but you need 50 subscribers to do a YouTube live on your phone. So it's something that is happening that I do not know what is going on. But as soon as I'm able to do that, I will be going back to not going back. I'm going to do YouTube live from my phone. And if somebody puts in a request as to like where you want me to go, not too far away. I'm talking about like 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers radius from downtown Toronto. I live in College and Young. So you can imagine what the 15-kilometer radius would be. So in the 15 kilometers, I'm walking to those places. I'm not taking my car. I'm not gonna be like putting the camera, my phone outside and say, okay, I'm recording and now I'm driving my car, or I'm driving my car to a place and then walking and doing the YouTube live, because then I have to worry about paying for parking and if some other things. So please, I would appreciate that. So thank you very much. So another 40 minutes I'll be on, and I see, okay, next one. Okay, so Fish Guy 1998, he's, or he, she, I don't know, and the person personally is a Fish Guy. The deciding factor for everyone has to be big picture, basing a decision of one policy as how we ended up with economy the way it is. Okay, I'm here. I was here. Something happened in 2020 which went totally off course for us. Okay, and I know there are things happening before 2020, but I would say the pandemic hit and everything went awry. Businesses were told to close down. I couldn't go to the gym because my gym on the day that it was announced, the same day or the very next day, the gym was closed for many months, or or even 8 months or something like that. So that was what was happening, and how we ended up with our economy the way. So some things happened in 2020, and everything, all the prices just went up and up and up, and I do not know why should have the I in the my economical sense, or my economics and finance would think it should have gone in the opposite way, that okay, we are losing jobs, we don't have money to spend, so everything should be costing less money. But the totally the opposite happened, and then I think part was we had influx of people coming from all around the world, coming to Canada, and that created an extra, what you call, burden, or to provide for these people. You're talking about housing, transportation, infrastructure, food, all that stuff that had to be provided to all these people. That came, and it became more expensive. So those are the factors that I think that ended us. So if we reduce our what do you call it, people coming to Canada, that would be one way of correcting what is happening. And the food prices, uh, the grocery giants, they know what they're doing. They are just what do you call it, uh, grabbing the money out of every Canadian's pocket. As far as I know, uh, can they provide for cheaper services? Sure, they could, but they don't want to, or whatever. I think they are having record profits. That's what I think. So Canada needs this discussion desperately. Thank you. Okay, and thank you, Fish Guy in 1998, for participating in this discussion. Uh, in my personal life, I go to the gym, YMCA. I go 7 days a week, and I have a small community of people that I know, like half a dozen people that I know that I talk to. I talk to things like that. Sometimes they say, "Oh, we don't want to talk about this thing. This is too depressing," or things like that. But yes, again, I am doing it on a smaller level. But agreed, when uh, I was in university, we were doing it at a bigger level. When I was working, we were doing it at a bigger level, but I was working for the government of Canada in finance. So what was happening was, even though we had the freedom to discuss, but we couldn't discuss it to the level that we wanted to, because our own discussion could have been used against us. So it was one of those things that you cannot have political views and discussions when you're working for the government of Canada. Okay, so thanks, Fish Guy, 1998. Okay, I got another. If I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, I apologize. Kieran Wallner, I am worrying based on. Okay, it looked like, okay, she's, or she or he person is commenting below, so I'm going to go to that. Before that, I got Otto von Banana. Okay, I'm going to give you some arguments to why you should vote liberal. We have a lot of arguments. Sorry, this commentator, Otto von Banana, but we have a lot of arguments against what you might have to say or write about liberals, because we have seen over the past 10 years what has happened to Canada. So I think you be the judge with what the situation is. Everybody, uh, 85% of the people, they are not able to pay any unforeseeable expenses over $200. That is what the poll says. That's not my saying. You can check the polls. A few years back, I think it was 50%. So now it has gone to 85%. People are buying groceries on their credit cards with 24, 25% interest, and they would not be able to afford it, because how are they going to pay their interest on the groceries? So I'm going to go back to Kieran Wallner. PP can ignore, downplay this, but it is not a joke. This is very different atmosphere globally, and Carney has the credential and experience best suited for Canadians. PP unfortunately isn't. Oh, Pierre. Oh, so I'm taking that PP means Pierre Poliver. Okay, so this is very interesting. You may be right, because Carney is much more well uh, educated person as far as I know, and but he has not been in politics. And I was just yesterday I was reading that Bank of England is in a big mess, because Carney was the head of that organization for a period of time, and supposedly people, as he said, like, you have to read on each and everything, go in depth. But supposedly people are saying that he messed up so badly that it is they are in financial conundrum. So you may be right, and also some of the things that he has done that totally went awry. So I would agree and not agree. So what can I say? Uh, PP unfortunately isn't the guy. Okay, so that is something that I am wondering myself, if he isn't the guy or is he the guy. So we have some comments that are saying that he's the only guy or he's the guy to go for. So right in this chat, you can see that some people have commented that he's the guy to go to. What, okay, Auto One Banana said, what is some important topics for you? Okay, in terms of this live chat or my channel. So I'm not sure what Auto One Banana means by important topics for you. So my particular channel is a travel channel, and I have traveled to 7 European countries in the last year. And as I started this channel, I in August of last year. And so I want to basically focus on travel and traveling around the world, and whichever places that I've not been to, and I will, if I'm able to, if I can afford it, if I am able to do that, and then I will post the videos, and starting with Toronto downtown videos on a regular basis, Toronto live videos that I'm going to post. So as far as the topics is concerned, so I think if you were following me, if I've been on this video live for hour and a half. I was talking about housing, okay, jobs, and prices of everything. So those are the topics, those are the, so every month I have to pay whatever mortgage, rent, what I'm talking in general. Okay, so for myself I have to pay rent. Okay, that is the topic of importance. uh, Groceries, things that I buy, those are the topics that are important to me. Jobs, it, for me particularly, it may not be that important, but when I see around me people struggling to pay for their groceries, to pay for their rents, to pay for whatever they have to pay. And then I'm not talking about exotic things like buying a Rolex watch or buying a supercar. I'm talking about basic things, okay, right now. Just to be able to pay for the gas for your car. Those are insurance for your car. Those are the topics that are important to me, and that I discuss with, even what I pay for my car insurance as compared to somebody. So I was talking to somebody who's paying triple than what I'm paying for the car insurance, and he just lives 1 block away from me. So we driving 2 different cars, and he's paying triple than what I'm paying. So those are the topics of interest. And Auto One Banana, if economy and finance is important for you, you should vote for Mark Carney. If economy and finance, okay, but yeah, you have a point. And what's the person name? Karen Wallner. That person, they made the same point. So yes, that is something. So my what do you call it? Problem, or my uh, hiccup with this is what I've seen for the last 10 years. And I am hearing that Mark Carney may be just something of a duplicate of uh, uh, our previous Prime Minister Justin. So that is my fear. Okay. So, but I do agree with you in terms of his experience as an economist. But what did he do for the Bank of England? If he was such a good economist, what did he do? I have not read or gone in depth with that. He managed several economic crises very well, like for the example, 2008 financial crash. Okay, I did not know about this thing, but I can look that up if he did that. Okay, I started my job for the government of Canada in December of 2008. So I was starting a new job, and I was just happy to be employed again with the government of Canada. So so that's that. And as far as the crisis is concerned, I do remember that we had a crisis between, I think, 2007 2008. So there was hardly any jobs. I was applying for 400 jobs a month, and I was not getting any responses, even being in the finance field with a finance degree. So anyway, so economic crisis very well he knows. Okay, so that's good, that's good. So even if I, okay, I'll put it this way, even if it didn't vote for, even if I don't vote for Mark Carney, if he wins the election, I will, first of all, whoever wins, I have to support that person, especially in the beginning. So I will support, and see what happens. And we all gonna, see what he can do with his financial background. Okay, I just missed. Okay, I got. Okay, now I got a lot of chats. So I'm just going one by one. So Otto von Banana, which is the rest of the world thing, he handled very well, and Canada was one of the countries that recovered the best from that crash. Okay, I do remember that we recovered quite well from that crash. So yes, you are right about that. Okay, I'm going to go to the next one, Auto One Banana. And I know we are liberal fatigued from Justin Trudeau, but Mark Carney is a fresh face. Okay, so we need to give Mark Carney a chance, because he's not Justin Trudeau. I agree with that. Okay, Fish Guy 1998 is commenting on a comment made by Kieran Wallner. Have you actually looked into his beliefs? Read his book. In what way is Mark Carney looking out for the best of Canadians? Higher taxes, more unregulated spending, more inflation, carbon tax. Okay, so right now the carbon tax was removed. So so that's one thing that jumps right on top from, right out of this chat, that he did remove the carbon tax. So that's something that has changed. So yes, what is he looking for? But he's not the elected prime minister yet. So that remains to be seen. Otto von Banana, and the Bank of England is not in a big mess because of Kanye. It was because of Brexit. When they Brexited, the pandemic came and blocked up global supply lines. You know what? That is there. You may be totally right. I did not look into the. I just looked at the post that was posted yesterday about Bank of Canada and Mark Carney, and could be Mark Carney haters. So you may be totally right. Brexit happened, and also the pandemic happened. That we cannot. Those are actual factual things. So of course that will. It's like you're being like hit with double punches, or like major disruptions. So of course things like that can happen even if you have the best in interest. So Kieran Wallner, I agree. It's funny how it works. I'm not worried about the bank experience. He has connection in Europe, and it is if and this is proven by his vote against Brexit. Okay, so he has connection in Europe, and we're gonna need those connections now. So we got Auto One Banana has retracted one message. That's fine. And Auto, okay. If economy and housing are most important topic, then Mark Haney is the clear choice. Okay, that is the it is a clear choice only if he does it. So we are pre-predicting if he's going to do that. So clear choice, not clear, but if he does it, that is anybody who. Okay, let me just put it this way. So we are just like what you got predicting the future, or we're talking about the future that hasn't happened. So if anybody who can solve housing, that will be a clear choice for the next election for me. I'm not talking about anybody else, just me. If whoever is elected can do something about housing, that will be a clear forerunner for me for the next election for sure. But right now, that is not clear for me in terms of. So that's why I'm bringing up this topic of this discussion. Is I am totally flabbergasted as to like it seems to me that no candidate is a clear choice for me. So that is why I'm bringing this topic up for near the elections. So Kiran, well, you need to understand the layer of government. The issue you're bringing up are provincial issues. I'm from Ontario and I'm suffering a conservative rule. The federal government. Okay, CONT. I don't understand that, but you need to understand the layers of the government. No, I don't understand the layers of the government. I just understand everything as Canadians and what they're suffering. Okay, so if the local government doesn't do anything, they are just as bad as the federal government. So that's how I look at it. And Otto Van Banana, and yeah, the right-wing media will of course say that Mark Carney is a Justin Trudeau clone. But if you look into him, he really isn't. Otto Van Banana, I think you may be totally right. I have not looked into Mark Carney that much in the because first of all, I was fearful about what he may bring into as the policies, which may be similar to what Justin Trudeau has done, or as you put it, as a clone of Justin Trudeau. So that was my mental thinking. Okay, so that is where it is. I'm thinking the same way as. Am I in the right wing media or the left wing media? I'm just thinking as a single individual Canadian citizen that is going through the tough situation like just like any other Canadian. Okay, Fish Guy 1998. No, I'm talking on the federal level. Okay, I do not understand this thing. Maybe if you can just elaborate a little bit on that. I don't understand that comment. Kieran Walmart is is not directly responsible for building homes, grocery prices, and employment. They are all originating from your premier. Appreciate the stream. By the way, vote for who you feel best. Yes, that is true. I will vote for. I might. I might have an epiphany on April 28th and say, okay, I'm just going to vote for whoever the person I think is right, just so that I don't waste my vote, or I don't I do want to go and vote. So that is true. So the government is not directly responsible for homes, that we know. That is true. But the government could be indirectly responsible for building the homes by reducing the taxes to build to provide uh, uh, the land, and so they may be indirectly uh, connected to building new homes. Grocery prices and employment are definitely, you can rely on government. I think all over the world, governments are cutting employees, and that is true. I think that is happening in big time in the U.S. also. They are cutting government employees big time. So yes, but if you want the grocery prices, I can only go to the grocery store and spend the money on whatever I can afford. I can tell the grocery store to reduce the prices by half, or not charge me tax on the grocery, because it's just food item, because certain food have no tax. And employment, if businesses are closing down, if the economy is so bad, how is most of the people that I know that are running businesses, they are not in a position to employ full-time employees. They are getting part-time employees. In the restaurant business, they will only hire people working for a few hours during the peak hours of the day. So employment is definitely something that has to come from the private sector, and the private sector is reeling just like regular people in Canada. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next. Fish Guy 1998. It is all top down. The funding to the building more home comes from federal policy. Grocery prices come from the poor federal policies like the carbon tax. Employment is due to our poor immigration policy. I would totally agree with all these points with Fish Guy. Immigration policy is very important for the employment of people, Canadians getting employment. That is for sure, damn sure. And I've seen it with my own eyes. So I agree with all the points on on this person's comment. Kieran Wallner, Fish Guy, sorry, I cannot reply. Lol, I'm not for enter one personally. I wanted to vote for anyone other than liberal or conservative, but with DT, I don't know what DT stands for. It is essential we stand united against government breaking laws. Yes, that I agree with. So I'm not too sure about what DT is, and so I cannot reply to that, or I cannot talk about that if I understand it. Okay, then I'll go to the next one. One banana. One last question. If you value LGBTQ rights, and if so, Carney is positive towards LGBTQ and wants to expand the rights, while Pierre Poilievre is a pro LGBTQ but isn't against it either. So if he is not against LGBTQ, so that is something that is quite important for me. And no, me personally, I'm not. Uh, I value LGBTQ rights. I'm living in an area where I'm surrounded by people who are living a lifestyle that is totally different than a person like me myself. I'm a straight guy, straight person, and I totally you know have no problem, and I believe in rights for everybody. So that is true. So that's that. So and another question and another message. I need to leave the stream now, but thank you for interesting stream, and I hope I give you some good arguments. Wish you a good day from a Swede who lives in Canada for study. Okay, I'm just gonna say one thing. So I was is Copenhagen in Sweden. So I was planning to go to Copenhagen. If not, I do want to go to Sweden. Hopefully this year. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. My first what do you call it? The light went out. I'm just gonna put another light. Okay, sorry for the temporary technical difficulty about the lighting. The rechargeable light, uh, portable light went out. So just gonna put another battery pack. Yeah, thanks for so Autovan Banana. Thanks for participating. I really appreciate it from my bottom of my heart. This is my first YouTube live, so I did not know much about what to do and what to say, but I am almost at the end of. So you have a good day, and I am planning to go to Sweden. Hopefully, uh, I'm able to do it this year or next year. So maybe we might connect uh, after the this thing. You know how to my channel, and you can connect with me. And definitely, I'm planning to go to make a Europe trip. So Cameron, oh yeah, thanks for participating. So have a nice day. And Kieran Walner, Donald Trump. Okay, Donald Trump, he's there second time around. Uh, Auto, we have to be careful about talking about him. So I'm not gonna say anything about that. I don't want to be hailed at the U.S. border trying to enter. Okay, you said something about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. Okay, Copenhagen is in Denmark. Okay, good. So the friend who was traveling with me, so we were there in Amsterdam. So then she split up with and going in a different direction. She went with her another friend of hers. So she went to Germany back again. She went to Germany, and then she went to Copenhagen. So she went further up in Germany, and then she had the same similar to the first class train pass for the EU rail pass. So she went back to from Amsterdam. She went to Germany, and then she went to Copenhagen. So I'm going to talk to her as to what her experience was. I haven't followed up with her. So we need to be strong against DT. DT specifically, he would rather deal with weak liberal when a conservative doesn't. What tell you those better to stand up for us? What is DT? Can you fish guy? Can you just put in the comment what do you mean by DT? I'm not. It's not coming to my mind. Oh, Donald Trump. Okay, so okay, good. So we need to be strong against DT. DT specifically said he would rather deal with a weak liberal than a strong conservative. Doesn't that tell you who's better to stand up for us? Okay, first of all, I'm not going to comment against or for or DT. I do want to travel to United States, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I have no idea what could be the repercussions of speaking. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and whoever is going to win is going to win. Okay, I'm going to go to the next. He flips on what he says every other day. I don't base my vote on others' opinions. Yes, I am with you, Kieran Waller. I am not basing. I'm only basing on my experience living in Toronto, Canada, for the last 29 years, and that's how I'm going to vote. But the clarity is not there. So yes, and I think on Monday, April 28th, I'll wake up and I say, okay, I'm gonna be voting for this party. So that's that. So sure, but if DT is your deciding factor, voting Carney is exactly what he wants. Yeah, it could be because Carney, if I am not mistaken, has some companies in United States. So maybe he may make some deals with him. So that's where it is. So right now, I see that. Okay, so I wanna. So I want to thank everyone for participating on this live. Um, have a nice day, everyone. And so it's just 5 minutes short of 2 hours that I've been on, and I know I would need a break after this. So that's that, and I'm going to see if I'm going to be able to do another one tomorrow on this election thing. If I'm able to get my YouTube phone live, I'll be doing. I'll try to do a YouTube live on from my phone, walking around in downtown Toronto. So stay tuned. Please like, share this channel if you can. I would really appreciate it. And as I said, if I hit the 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing it on a weekly basis, the YouTube live. For that is my goal to do it. Uh, uh, and besides, that's beyond this. I'm talking about beyond the election thing. Just I would be walking around in downtown Toronto, so people can leave requests for which area they want me to go to. I can entertain that for on the following day. So let's say I have a chat live one day, and the next day somebody says, can you go over there, like Kensington Market or St. Lawrence Market, the beaches areas, whatever you're thinking, you can put in, and I will then make a decision. And so I appreciate everybody. Uh, yes, thank you, Fish Guy. Looking forward for appreciate. As I said, I appreciate this is my first live stream. I was very apprehensive as to even if I can talk for 5 minutes, it's like my mouth is drying up even as I speak. And so see, writing from Muskoka, Ontario. I wish I would have won a cottage. I was participating in Princess Margaret Hospital lottery. I wish I would have won a Muskoka lakefront cottage and be one of your neighbors. So anyway, that didn't happen. So that is for another day. So yes, so thank you. And as I said, I'm gonna limit myself to 2 hours. Not because I don't want to carry on, but it's, as I said, is my mouth is drying up, and I was I was even fearful to even not fearful, but I didn't think I had the ability to even go on for more than 5 minutes. But you guys, everyone, each and everyone who participated made it so much easier for me to do this YouTube live, and I intend to do more of this. So this first experience, good experience, and I want to do more. You guys know it. Please spread the word around. I would appreciate it. I live in downtown Toronto. I could be one of your neighbors, not from Muskoka, guy, but I could be one of your neighbors. So if you see me on the streets, just say hi to me. And as I said, I appreciate everything. So bye for now, and everybody have a nice day for the rest of the day. Okay, thanks. Bye.